What? Huh? What? Yeah.
Come on, Rocky.
What? Yeah. Huh? What? I'm lost.
You're supposed to do it.
I'm supposed to do it. Yep. What?
You've been in the West Indies too long.
Yeah.
You've been missing out on all the hip hop dances. You about to rap?
You tune into the award-winning Rundown with your girl Rocky B.
She's not going to live
I'm not gonna let that go. As award-winning
and
Rundown.
the host of the year.
And the best female host. You know what? I gotta start commending myself a little more. I gotta turn my Kanye West on because y'all be forgetting. They be forgetting. They don't show me my respect.
Yo, shout out to my brother Tiger Ty, DJ of the year.
Oh, he won DJ of the year. Correct.
Stays right in Power Squad as usual.
Right in Power Squad. So if one person wins, everybody won. Right?
Yeah, it literally gets passed around between him and JK. Last year they had to take them out of it. They took both of them out of it last year.
Wow.
Put them back this year.
I think I'm not gonna do best female host again. I think I'm gonna let that one rock out and see who else can.
See, y'all I don't know why y'all do that.
Why?
Let people earn it. That's how I look at it.
Okay. All right. Say no more. I lied, guys. I lied. Ha ha ha.
You gotta earn that spot.
February fools. I got the Monroes in the building. What's up, guys?
What's going on?
What is going on? Talk about the Rock Awards. So, Willie, you presented the award.
Yeah.
I almost thought you forgot about the award though, because you were up there giving a nice little speech.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, he forgot he's presenting. It's okay. He forgot. But your speech, give us a little synopsis. What was your speech about again?
It was about faith, and I just wanted to really shout my wife out because we've been together, almost a decade. Been together a minute, and our relationship, what we've built together, what we've created together in her career, my career, our three beautiful kids. It's all been faith, prayers, and belief, and I really can't stress that enough, and we're a walking embodiment of that being true. So.
Brittany.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid of talking to the mic. You talking to his mic all the time.
Wow. Oh snap!
Don't be afraid of talking to the mic. I mean, she's with a famous boxer. What do you expect?
I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not gonna mention the name. But when you was giving that speech last night, I was standing next to somebody.
Yolanda.
I didn't say no names.
I know.
And only thing that I didn't say no names again. I'm not no snitch. But only thing that she kept saying was, "Yo, when he goes home, it's going down." She ain't say like that. I'm giving the PG-13 version. Yolanda. I mean, somebody ain't PG-13.
Oh, first 48.
But all jokes aside, that's the first thing I thought last night. I said, man, he making sure he big his queen up. You know what I'm saying? Before anything, he was like, listen, I'm here for a award, but I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. He said, I'm not gonna let this platform go and not make sure that my queen next to me, she ain't up here, but she up here. I'm gonna let y'all know that.
Yes.
And I was like, that's what's up.
I'm thankful for Yolanda for allowing me to do that because originally I was supposed to be in London. And with all this crazy up and down stuff that's been going on in my boxing career, and my strength and conditioning coach, Lucky, he said, look, man, just stay home. The guy that you're going out to possibly help could be an opponent for big money down the line. So don't go mess that up. Facts. He said, you good, stay home, keep your mind right and be with your family. So I called Yolanda back, about a week after she asked me. I said, look, sis, I'm not going to London. I'm coming to the Rock Awards. I said, but just do me one favor.
Right.
I said, give me 5 minutes to really, honor my wife. You know what I mean? Because everybody see what I do and it's, it's brick by brick. It's Team Monroe. It's blah, blah, blah. But they don't understand that my wife's hard work and her dedication, not only to her craft, but to my craft, is what allows me to be able to go out there and perform on these big stages. People say, oh, he makes the money, he wins. And when I win them belts, those her belts too.
Right.
You know what I mean? And she controls the money. So, you know what I mean? Happy wife, happy life. So, and she works hard too. Some people look at her as a wife or what people like to call a trophy wife or something, but she has her own career too. She's a personal, not personal stylist. I was about to say personal stylist because she used to do hair too. But, she does custom designs for kids, for adults. Like she's made prom dresses. A
designer. Yeah, because it's
wedding dresses.
Right.
She's
doing everything.
Crazy stuff. I didn't want to say wedding dresses just yet, but she's done, all of the outfits that the kids wear to the fights. she creates their outfits around what I'm wearing in the ring. You know, like when I'm up working hard and studying at 2 a.m, studying fight tapes, she's up at the sewing machine, you know, pricking her fingers, and you know what I mean, like man, she works just as hard as me right next to me, and I need to acknowledge that. And we're black, and the one thing a lot of black men don't do is acknowledging their queens, you know what I mean? When you go back to Africa, like, the queen was, you know, the most exalted, you know what I mean? The woman is the bringer of life, you know what I mean? And this woman not only created life for me and gave me 3 beautiful kids, but she breathed life and spoke life and prayed life into me when I didn't believe in myself.
About it.
I was like,
you about to make everybody break up with their boyfriend. Like, oh, you not,
I'm not trying to put pressure on these guys.
You know what? I need a whole platform. I need you to go on stage. Like, for real. Did you expect that? Did you know he was going to do this?
No, I had no idea.
You had no idea.
That's how you know it's real.
So how, as a wife, I know it's hard. You were crying.
I was.
But you're a water bag on the low, right? Because you tough. You have a tough outer exterior. I don't know if were you like a tomboy back in the day or something? Big time. You have that tough outer exterior. I could tell you would whoop somebody.
Telling you that's a pit bull in the skirt. I said that last night.
I was like, oh yeah, she's sewing. Yeah, that's so cute. But she will whoop your butt, right?
But you can imagine her jumping the ring after something go wrong. And
she probably tried to. Have you ever tried to run in the ring? Have you ever tried to do like a Pacquiao wife thing?
Ithaca, he was sparring with this guy, and the guy was like, he was MMA or he did the UFC stuff. And I don't think he understood that they were boxing, and he tried to pick up Will and slam him.
So what you did?
I went to the ring. I was cussing. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Nah, Britt don't play that. Brett don't play about her Will.
So that's why I have to get off social media sometimes
around
to
take
fights,
a break. Yes. Yeah,
I've been there.
So what do you do to get him prepared mentally? What is your role? What do you do?
Encouragement. Constant encouragement, because the world is always telling him what he can't do, what he's limited to. So I have to always, like you said, speak life into him. Always tell him it doesn't matter what those people think.
Right.
Your main focus should be you believing in yourself.
Right. So what was the toughest thing? I know after probably the Triple G fight, was that the toughest for you to bring him back? Because I know a lot of people were talking. Yeah. The negativity was in the air hard about it on social media. How was it for you? Did you have to definitely give him a lot of positive reinforcement?
Yep. Just lots of support, encouragement, standing by him, letting him know that this is not the end, letting him know that you have a powerful market that you can touch, not just in boxing. Will's been in movies. He has the ability to talk to kids.
Right.
So.
Right.
Let's not forget
and
he
the ability to give
too.
speeches.
I know, right?
And he sings too.
Not sing anymore.
And dance.
You know, cause he came on the mic with that voice. You didn't hear that voice? He's like, yeah, I want to shout out my wife because. I'm like, he about to sing. That's that R&B intro voice.
I told him he has to open up for the Millennium Tour.
Yes.
Signature's got to come back, right?
Signature gotta come back.
Signatures are not coming back.
I'm gonna work on it.
For those who don't know what okay, so when I first came to America,
right.
That was like in 2005. I remember seeing Signature at a RIT show. It was at RIT. It was a fashion show, I believe, and you guys were performing.
Right.
And I was like, wow, these guys are like handsome. They really have nice voices. What happened to Signature?
Well, we all graduated from School of the Arts. So it was me, my brother, Lamar, and Lawrence, and a good friend of ours, Carlos. But Carlos dropped out of the group. He said, he turned his life over to God. God didn't want him singing secular music, and then he went to the military. So then it became, our name was Street Squad. Then we became Signature when it was 4 of us. And we were doing really well, but we just sort of grew apart.
Right.
We just, and I turned pro in 2008. So it got to the point where I was a fight, then a show, you know what I mean? And like one time I fought on the undercard of HBO, and then 2 weeks later we opened for Trey Songz at the Armory. You know what I mean? And like it was some nights where I fought at the Armory on a Thursday night, and then that Saturday night we opened for Tank. So the Wednesday night of the weigh-ins, before the fight, the group, my training team let the group come to my room for 2 hours. They said, you only got 2 hours, you got to be in the bed by 10. And we rehearsed for 2 hours. And then I went to bed, and then I fought on Thursday, and we rehearsed again on Friday, and then we performed on Saturday.
So that made you want to fight in your fights make you want to win every fight that you're in. So you
you got to.
That makes sure your face was all
That's why I be moving, dipping it. That's why I be dipping and dodging, man.
It was a whole inspiration. It was like, listen, I gotta win this fight. I gotta come out of here not even getting hit.
It became a marketing ploy, but then you know how it is in groups. You know, egos start to fly, and honestly, you know, I was a fighter before I was a singer, so I was going to be a fighter regardless. And when the group broke up, you know, my brother Trent, we was like, we brothers, we can't break up. So my brother was like, look, man, I'm gonna hit my solo thing, and Trent was the best singer in the group anyway. So
Trent, usually guys don't admit that, but that's nice.
Trent's
the voice.
Talent. Trent be singing, but like he's out there writing for Usher and everything right now. Boys going crazy right now.
When he used Trent was my official barber. So when he was cutting my hair, he was dancing and cutting me while he was cutting my hair.
That explains the edge up. I'm just kidding.
But I said used to be. I miss my barber. I ain't even gonna lie about that part.
Trent tough on the clippers.
When it's cutting hair, he's cutting, like right now he in California cutting people hair. Master P hair.
Yeah, like Trent, I was out there in LA with Trent one time. He was like, yo, we just gonna go to P House real quick. And I'm on my phone on Instagram like, oh, cool. Who's P?
P, right, like.
Because it's one of your clients. And we roll up to one security gate. And I'm like, oh, P got money. So we go up to a second security gate. And I'm like, who the heck is P? He was like, oh, Percy's, Master P. I said, we gotta go to Master P House? This dude, like, yeah, we about to go to P House. Like I know, like,
you should know how your brother is. One thing I like about the Monroe brothers, they like, since I ever met them, the humblest guys ever. They like just straight humble. Like, not anything, like, they could be show off if they wanted to, but they're not. They straight humble. So,
ironically enough, Trent introduced me to my wife. Yeah. My brother introduced me to Cupid. Yeah, Trent's our Cupid. Like I was going through it.
How did that happen?
Sound like Trent.
I was going through it, and you know, I ended up being single, and Britt was single, and I had just fought at the Armory, my 10th professional fight, and I was still working a job at Kmart in Ithaca because I lived in Ithaca. So I fought, got out of the ring like 10 o'clock, drove all the way back to Ithaca with my team. Jumped in my work clothes, got about 2 hours of sleep, went to Kmart, worked 4 to 10. Kmart said, well, look, we'll give you the rest of the week off because you just fought. I jumped in my car and drove back home. I said, I'm not about to chill in Ithaca. I'm going back home. So I drove back home off 2 Red Bulls. I'm still up but kind of dead. Went to the mall, bought a couple things, and I had a little stick shift. Beside, well, it was fast, turbocharged, and me and Trent just, you know, trick out and do crazy stuff. And Trent was like, yo, Will, let me take you to meet my homegirl real quick. And I was like, Trent, I don't meet none of your homegirls. I ain't meet no girls. I said, take me back. I'm spending, you know, a couple days at my grandparents' house. Now I'm back in Rochester and get some rest. He said, nah, man, just come. I said, man, Trent, I don't want to meet none of your homegirls, because Trent had a couple female friends, and Trent was like, he was cool with these girls, but if he was cool with them, another member from our group, I'm not going to mention his name, Lamar will go behind his back and get with him. I just said Lamar, my bad. I said his name.
That's contagious in here today, huh?
So, you'll edit that? Thank you. My bad, L. I didn't want to say his name because he's like moved on. He's got a kid now.
He's happy. He's in love.
But that was back in the day. So I was like, man, I don't want to go see no chick that y'all been cool with. And he said, yo, nah, this is a good girl, man. He don't even know her, bro.
Yeah, when Trent tells you that,
he don't even know her.
Listen, when Trent tells you that means you're official.
Yeah, that's how Trent is. Yeah. So I was like, all right, whatever. So I went up. She took me over to Brett's house, and I met her. We were cool. We were talking. She was real pretty. She had like micros and her glasses on. She was a little nerdy, and I'm like, I like nerdy girls with the glasses and stuff because I got glasses.
And y'all got this glasses thing going on.
Yeah, so.
Then he used the bathroom. See, he got.
Listen,
they're not gonna say the other part.
Oh yeah, no, I took.
We're gonna hear your version, Britt.
I'm not gonna lie, I took a dump. Like,
no, he asked me could he take his coat off, and I'm like, it's your coat. Yeah, take it off.
I was raised on my grandparents, so I tried to be respectful.
Then he went and used the bathroom. I'm like, yo, he in the bathroom.
It can go down anywhere. I don't care if I got to take a number 2. It's going down.
I can't get comfortable enough in somebody else's home.
Listen,
I can't either.
These are the Monroe brothers. They get comfortable anywhere. That's what. Listen. They get comfortable.
These are the Monroe brothers.
They get comfortable.
Wait, so did that turn you off? Did you hide the scent? What was going on?
Nah, she married him.
She married him. So basically,
I didn't really think nothing of it. I was like, oh well, Trent ate all my pizza. He took a shit.
So what attracted you to her initially? Like,
I texted Trent. I was like, oh, you're really cute.
And Trent said, yo, both of y'all text me at the same time. Like, yo, she pretty, yo. So
this is so
Trent said, Trent said, I'm gonna text her and see if I could give her your number. And Trent, he was cute. We exchanged numbers, and we talked for about 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, just via phone. Because I went back to Ithaca.
Though. Like when he would get up for Kmart, I'd be up on the phone. Like I had been up already at 4 a.m. Like, hey, I'm up. Yeah.
Those stages. I miss those stages. Man.
So we just the thing that made us stick together is I was getting ready for a fight, and I got really sick.
Pneumonia.
And I'm the type that when I'm getting ready for a fight, unless Jesus come down here and tell me to lay down, I'm not laying down. I'm getting ready for a fight because I can't stand the thought in my mind of knowing the guy that I'm getting ready to fight is training right now and I'm not. That's how I think. So my coach was like, man, you gotta get some rest. And I'm like, well, when Jesus come down here and tell me I get some rest, I get some rest. Till then, we going to the gym, pack your bags, let's go. And I went into the fight a week over pneumonia, and my physician had told me, look, maybe you need to call this fight off. And I was like, sick and all, I'm gonna knock you out. If you say that again, like, I'm not calling no fight off. Went to the fight, lost a split decision. Actually, fast forward to today, the guy that lost split decision to is real cool with me now. Like, he even wants to be part of camps and help me get ready for fights. Really nice guy. This was the very first fight she's seen. So you gotta remember, I was 10-0 at this point. And all she had ever heard was this dude's 10-0, he's good, he's this, he's that. And the very first fight she sees live, I lose a split decision. This girl grabbed me and kissed me like I just won the heavyweight title of the world. And she was like, don't worry about it. And like, nobody has ever done that. And the team I was with, long story short, pretty much 2 weeks after the fight was like, you need to go back to Rochester. Like, we ain't got nothing. Like, sort of kicked me out. And I called her. And this is when I found out just how gangster Britt is. Because when I called her, and pretty much I tried to like nicely tell her, because the 2 jobs I was working over there, Kmart and this other job, I had to tell them like, I didn't even give them a 2-week notice. I just had to be like, I ain't gonna be here Thursday or any time after that because I'm getting kicked out. I called Britt. I was like, look, boo, look, I'm gonna have to move back to Rochester. They don't really want me here anymore. She was like, screw them. Like, she ain't say screw. They don't define whether you become world champion or not. Look, they don't listen. I'll be up there. Hold on, let me see if I could get my mom to watch my daughter. She got a cousin to watch her because Denasia just turned 4. Yeah. Britt was on the next thing smoking.
Greyhound.
I said, nah, you ain't gotta come. Like, I'm about to pack the car up. I'll be home like, later tomorrow. She was like, no, I'm coming. I'm gonna help you pack your car up. Came up there, helped me pack my car up, helped me pack 2 big bags, drove back home, and out of respect, so I'm gonna stay at my grandparents' house. She was like, well, if you need a place to lay your head, you can lay with me. You can lay your head here.
Oh, so Britt was being a little hot.
Yeah. Honestly,
fast tail.
We wasn't even.
Honestly, it's cool. And she's like, no, it's okay.
We wasn't
come over and get this.
We wasn't even being nasty.
Stutter, right?
We wasn't even being nasty like that because you gotta remember I was getting ready for a fight. So women weaken legs before a fight. So it was really none of that really going on. So
that is true.
So we were still hugging, kissing. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't really like that yet. But you could just see the fierceness in her. She was like, man, they don't dictate whether you become world champ. I'm like, yo, she talking to me like she been with me all my life. So I stay with my grandparents because I'm old school. My grandparents, my grandfather black and Cuban from Florida. My grandmother, she black and native from North Carolina. You don't just go what they call shacking up. You know how that goes. So I went and stayed with my grandparents. And I would come spend a weekend with her and stay with my grandparents. Finally, we moved in together and she started working at Chase, yeah. And I was working at Harris Communications, and then I got a job at Foot Locker, and her lease was up, so we moved into the Park Ave area together.
So did you stop boxing altogether during this time?
I had to, because I stopped training. There was no fights, nothing on the table. The promotional team dropped me. Right. Management training dropped me. I was just management didn't drop me.
You didn't stop training, though.
I didn't stop training.
Were you ever depressed at this time?
I was very depressed.
Okay.
We would drive to Olive Garden because I worked at Harris Communications Monday through Thursday. 10-hour days. We had Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. I would always go back Friday, Saturday for overtime because I like getting money. And if I wasn't gonna go back to work that Friday, that Thursday, we would go to Olive Garden, and I would go to the bar. I'll never forget the guy's name, Frankie. He was a big boxing fan. His name was Frankie, Mexican guy, cool as ever. I would go there and I would kill about 4 double shots of 151. You could run a car off 151.
Not even
151.
I was eating.
Depressed. When you talk about depressed, and Britt was like, "Well, look, you're not about to go drinking and driving by yourself. If you're gonna be doing that, then I'm gonna be. Well, you're gonna be safe." So she would go. She would sit at the bar with me. She would sometimes tell me, "Maybe you shouldn't drink another one. You know, man, I'll drink what I want." You know what I mean?
How is he when he's drunk?
Happy.
Hug and kiss.
I want to hug and kiss everybody when I'm drunk.
So you try to get him drunk on purpose then? Like, babe, let's just go to the bar tonight.
And then when she know he drunk, I think you had enough.
No.
Let's go home now.
He's like, I
think you had enough now.
We moved into funny enough, me and her are writing, and I can say this, we're writing our TV show. It's called 35 Harlem, because we moved into 35 Harlem apartment 3, and that's pretty much where our where we already decided we were going to be a couple. That's when we said we locked in. And we were going to church every Sunday. I became Denazia's stepfather, and like I alluded to in my speech last night, he had a lot of different guys. Because he's a pretty girl, different guys wanted her. And this dude playing stepdad, he weak. Like I said, I ain't playing stepdad. I like to call myself the father that stepped up. You know, and here we are 8 years later. You know what I mean? And you know, Britt held me down. A good friend of mine, you guys know about Fight Factory, the gym we opened up. A good friend of mine is TJ. I grew up with him in the amateurs. When I told him my story, we were both working at Harris Communications. And he said, well, look, I just retired from the military, and I've been trying to get back into boxing. I haven't fought since the Empire State Games when I was 19. He was like, I've been trying to get back into boxing. I just, you know, boxing has sort of faded here in Rochester. So we went to a couple different gyms, and, you know, we weren't very welcome just because of the whole MONROE and the other different boxing families in Rochester. And it's, you know how that goes in Rochester. So TJ was like, screw it. I'll do it like my uncle did. We don't need to go to none of these gyms.
Start your own.
He gutted his whole garage. And we turned his garage into a gym, and we used to be at Planet Fitness, and we would be running, and we would talk about what we were going to name the gym. And the 2 names we came down to was Lion's Den and Fight Factory. And TJ was like, I really like Fight Factory. And I'm like, Lion's Den sound tough. And he was like, nah, Fight Factory got a ring to it. He said Lion's Den will attract a certain demographic, but Fight Factory is a little more vague. Like it can attract more demographics than one. I said, that's real smart. So we started calling it the Garage Fight Factory. And that little small gym, man, it was a 2.5 car garage. We trained out of that gym for 17 months before we got a fight. And Britt was in there with me every day. And one day I came home from the gym, and this is when I first found out Britt was pregnant with my son. See, I ain't had no kids, so I was learning how to be a dad with her daughter. I came home, and I'm telling her about the day in the gym and stuff, and she was like, we're pregnant. And I was like, yes, what?
In the middle, you couldn't just like ease it in there or put it in like a boxing glove or something?
Yo, this is why the Creed movies.
Yeah, don't hit me in my stomach.
This is why the Creed movies are like so special to me, because I'm like, I feel like they sort of followed me and sort of wrote their movie off. Except the part about him being rich, because I wasn't rich. I'm like, man, like, and it just snuck up on me, and I was like happy, but nervous and scared, but like, and it gave me a push, and it pushed me to make some boss decisions. And I told my grandma.
Right, that's what it'll do.
And my grandma real old school. And when I told my grandma, I sat down with my grandma and my grandfather. And my grandfather's real quiet. My grandmother, you know, she really lay it on. And I said, Grandma, I'm really in love with this girl. This is before she was pregnant. I said, Grandma, I'm really in love with this girl. And she said, Willie, you know how we raised you. We didn't raise you to be out here lollygagging and messing around. She said, that girl has a daughter. You can't be in and out of her life. She said, if you're going to be with this girl, you need to be with this girl. She was like, I've only met her a couple times. She seemed like a real nice girl, but that's a child. You can't be in and out, up and down. Like, if you're going to be there, you got to be there. And I was like, yes, ma'am.
I love it.
You know what I mean? And my grandma was like, we ain't raised you like that. She said, if you don't feel like you gonna be with this girl, or you don't feel like y'all gonna be together, you need to be up front with her and let her know that, and not be around that kid, because that kid get attached to you. And then she said, we ain't raised you like that, and God don't like ugly.
Facts.
And I said, yes, ma'am. And when I told my grandma that she was pregnant, about 3 months later, my grandma and grandfather was happy. And I named my son's middle name or my grandparents' name. And I mean, I'm up for doing all the talking, man. She's just, I don't know, Britt has been.
So let me ask you both a question. What does BXB means to both of y'all, brick by brick?
BXB, we named it BXB. BXB came from a good friend of ours, Lane, who used to be in the audience. Well, he's still in the audience.
Used to be a part of the team. He used to be training with us and everything. Lane was a really good, Lane Thrasher.
Yep.
Blackest white boy we know, boy.
He'd be at the fights and he'd just be chanting, BXB, brick by brick, you gonna get him. So we heard him, we was like, BXB, we love that. Because that's what our life has been about.
Yes.
Slowly building our foundation until we came into our mansion. But it's really what we live by.
Right.
Part of our foundation so much.
I always give the motto to 3 Little Pigs. And I'm part of a fraternity. You know, I'm a Mason, a Master Mason. Please don't hit me with this Illuminati talk.
Yeah, okay. No, we gonna talk about it. So
I'm a Master Mason, and
you trying to jump over it?
and I like
still trying to jump.
Well, we'll get to it.
Okay.
But brick by brick means, I mean, I tell people my story. I say the 3 Little Pigs. You know, you look at 3 Little Pigs, and this is how people look at life. You know, the one pig built his house up a straw, real quick, real pretty, look nice, and everybody likes that. Oh, look how quick he did that. And when the big bad wolf, aka life, came through and said, I'm gonna huff and puff and blow your house down, it was easy. He had to run to the house of sticks. Now, the house of sticks took a little longer than the house of straw. It was still nice, put together nice. The sticks was put together nice. It was put together real quick plan. And everybody was like, oh, that's a real nice house right there. And when the big bad wolf, aka life, came through and said, I'm gonna huff and puff and blow your house down, he did it. They had to run to the house of bricks. Now, the house of bricks took a little longer to build. And when you lay those bricks and you lay in that cement, people laughing at you. Oh, what you gonna do with that brick? Oh, why are you using cement? I mean, like, you could have did like this, dude. You could have had your house built in 2 years. You know, it may took him 5 years to build the first level of his house. You know, he got to let the cement dry. He's picking up bricks. He may have stubbed his finger, may have broke his finger, had to sit out from building this house for a little while. But he had to come back and let that cement dry and use his level and use his working tools and make sure everything was right. And then when they all ran to his house and the big bad wolf, aka life, came through and said, I'm gonna huff and puff and blow your house down, it was too solid. But over the time of learning, he also knew what life was going to make a second move. So when life said, okay, I can't huff and puff and blow it down, I'm going to come up that chimney, have something waiting for him. We're going to cook you. You feel what I'm saying? So when you take your time and build things brick by brick and learn and have these, people call them setbacks or losses. I call them character building opportunities. You feel what I'm saying? Shout out to Brock Leonard for teaching me that.
So all of this is basically reflecting right on your life, because if anybody follows your Instagram, tell them what your Instagram is.
What the
your Instagram?
Will El Mongoose?
Yes.
Yeah. El Mongoose.
Oh, Will El Mongoose Monroe Jr.
And if you follow him,
did he just like put on his accent?
Yes.
Like did he just speak a little bit of Spanish right here? Like El Mongoose.
But if you follow him and you really follow his career from the start to where it is now, that's basically what your life has been about.
Yeah.
It was 17 months with no fight.
Right.
But he trained like he had a fight tomorrow.
And then you had a fight which they try to take you out because your opponent wasn't ready, which that's a proof that everybody knows that. Anybody that follow boxing and really watch his fight know that he wasn't ready for you, because the guy that they put him to fight, he still didn't even look good.
Yeah. Well, you know what? When that whole thing with the steroid thing came up, I just got quiet.
Oh, you want to jump into that? Okay, let's go. I was going to ease into it, but let's just...
I just got quiet because I knew the truth. And I said, you know what? I've been here before with the Triple G thing. I've been here before with the Billy Joe Saunders thing.
And I ain't gonna say no. I'm gonna sit back and watch how somebody that been dodging you for the longest.
And I have been asking to fight this guy for a long time. One thing you gotta realize about the entertainment world: boxing is entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Like
politics.
I'm signed to Al Heyman. Al Heyman is Live Nation. When you talking Al Heyman, you talking Drake, Chris Brown. This guy runs entertainment.
He runs boxing.
He runs boxing, and I'm very proud to be signed to such a prestigious guy out like Al Heyman.
And he's smart.
He's very smart.
He take care of his
and
boxers.
he's black. and he takes care of his fighters really well. He's
just
taking
look
care
at
of
Floyd.
Me. Exactly.
Floyd is signed to Al Heyman, and people think Floyd is doing it all by himself. No. Al Heyman
Al
is
right
right behind.
The brains.
Yes,
Al is the brains,
which we could see.
Obviously. And
which we could see.
Shots. You be throwing
no,
nice
but
jabs.
It's true though.
Well, the thing that people don't realize about boxing is you got to look at it like this. I look at myself. I call myself the Nipsey Hussle of boxing. Because Nipsey Hussle made it to the top. Mm-hmm. No backing.
Nothing.
No big record label. Owns all the masters to all his music. And he's it. You feel what I'm saying? And it took him a while. Like, he been rapping since he was 17. He's the same age as me. Well, he's 33 now.
And he's respected by all the OGs.
But he's respected because of his journey and his respect and his respect for the game.
Right.
And I made it to the top like that. I made it to the top fair.
And you haven't fought no flukes.
I haven't fought no flukes.
Everybody that you fought is a guaranteed
like if you look
title shot.
Like when I fought Triple G, like
nobody wanted to fight him.
Charlo is just now calling out Triple G because Triple G is 38. He's finally lost a fight.
Right.
He's kind of now everybody wants. I fought Triple G 4 years ago
when he was in his prime,
and I only had 19 professional fights.
And he was in his prime, like.
And I didn't think twice. They said only thing I did was I negotiated a little bit more money. And at that time, for that level of fight, I didn't even have the team of lawyers around.
Right.
So you know what I did? When I got that contract, me, Britt, my brother, sat in my living room. And things that we didn't understand about the contract, we Googled it. And we figured it out. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I couldn't afford a big time lawyer to really look through all of this big stuff. We just didn't have the funds.
Right.
You know, but we figured it out and worked our way there. And I had to work my way to the top. And when you got a guy like that, listen, the wolf that's coming up the mountain is so much more dangerous than the wolf that's at the top of the mountain. You know what I'm saying? And you become a threat. And you become a threat in that way where nobody has any ties to you. That's dangerous. Because all these you got to think, Charlo has Chris Brown is invested into him. Des Bryant.
Yeah, he got a lot of.
Man, these guys are from Houston. You got football players, basketball players, superstars that have money invested. You got Willie Monroe from Rochester.
Nobody trying to lose that money.
But I have a question. When you fought Triple G, did you ever think that you were? Did you think you were going to lose? Did you have that mentality like, okay, I'm going to? Did you think you were going to beat Triple G?
I believe wholeheartedly I was going to beat. I never have a thought that I'm going to. I don't go into the gym and train all of these hours,
right?
And put in all of this sacrifice to say, I hope I win.
Right, because a lot of people would say like, oh, come on, it's Triple G. He's not going to win that.
Well, that's because people out here are projecting their fears onto you.
Okay.
Listen,
you didn't have to shut me up like that, but okay.
That's true though.
But like I said,
yes.
I've never had a setback. I've only had character building. Now that fight taught me a lot. That fight taught me a lot about politics. That fight taught me a lot about fight. Now I fought him in front of, I think, 16,000 people. Out of 16,000 people, 15,992 were for him. Only people in the crowd for him was my team and my wife.
And you fought him in his backyard.
I fought him in his backyard. I was willing to go into, just like when Billy Joe Saunders, I was willing to go to London.
Which I didn't like that fight. Me personally, I'd have walked out after his, I'd have knocked this. Anyway, I'd have walked out after that. It wouldn't have been a fight.
All of these were character building experiences. So when I fought Triple G, I fought him in front of 16,000 people and everybody was for him. And I knew what that was like. And I had to experience that. Fast forward to a little over a year later, the first fighter ever from Rochester to fight on pay-per-view, HBO. I fought him on HBO regular. I fought Gabe Rosado on pay-per-view, HBO, in front of 52,000 people. So when I was in my dressing room, my brother just kept saying, you got to know. And a couple times I said, I hope. My brother was like, we ain't hoping nothing. You got to know. When we stepped out into the tunnel and I came out to Jay-Z, Run This Town Tonight. And my brother was just on my shoulder in my ear. You gotta know. We got into the ring, and I'm shaking out. My brother said, "Yo, you gotta know, baby. You gotta know." And when they got ready to they introduced our name, got ready to bring us to the end, and they get everybody out the ring. My brother came to me one last time and winked and said, "You gotta know, baby." got out the ring.
Plus, we ain't losing to nobody in no tights.
Then he was like, then he was like, we ain't losing nobody in no tights anyway, because Gabriel had on tights.
Yo, he was taunting you that whole weekend. He was trying to taunt you.
Yeah, Trent was in my ear, because I take my brother with me everywhere. Like, people don't know, my brother has helped manage my career since I left Ithaca. And I said, look, when I get paid, you gonna get paid. You know what I'm saying?
He ain't even in it for the money.
He ain't even in it for the money.
Fam.
You know what I mean? But that's my brother.
Right.
Why pay somebody else for this expertise when I know you already have it? I'm gonna keep that money in house. And my brother said, look, you gotta know. And I just thought, and he said, look, bro, when you came out for that Triple G fight, man, and he said, I just saw it in your face that it was real different. It was kind of scary for you because that was a real big crowd. It was a real big moment. He said, that ain't happening this time. So it took, in front of 15,000 people, that magnitude of a fight. It took that learning to put me in front of 15,000 people to win the belt. Right. So I lost to Triple G in front of 15,000, but that experience launched me into 52,000 where I won a new belt. Right. Feel what I'm saying? So it was, to me, it's not a loss. It's a character building experience.
Right. And if you watch the fight, he didn't just lay down. He was giving it to.
You know, and everybody to this day still say.
And he didn't get knocked out. And everybody else, Triple G, try to knock.
And everybody to this day still say, like, yo, that's the first person we ever saw win rounds against Triple G. That's the first person we ever saw back Triple G up. Right. First person where the commentators were like, look, yo, Triple G getting hit. Because everybody else is coming in once they get hit harder. After I fought Triple G, everybody was like, yo, I'll fight him. Mm-hmm. Oh, you saw Monroe did? I'll fight him. You feel what I'm saying? So it was something good from that. You know, but like I said, there's never a setback. It's only character building experiences. Right. You can't send me anywhere now where I'm like, I'm scared. That's my office.
So you made the decision to quit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Quit that fight. Why did you make that decision?
I was just like, I said, look, out of the 6 rounds, I've probably won 2. But I've been dropped twice, so those 2 rounds are nullified. Mm-hmm. He's the champion. So the next 6 rounds, I'm going to have to win them and put him down.
Knock him out. Right.
And I'm like, I'm not in a position to do that right now. I'm still young. 27, 28 years, I'm still young.
So you learn.
There'll be another day.
As a white, him stopping that fight was probably one of the greatest things I've ever seen him do, because you look at fighters now who stay in there and they take this punishment and they're getting hit upside the head and they're pissing blood. 10 years later, they can't talk. 10 years later, they're not able to be as active in their kid's life. And it's just not. You got to know when, like he said, you know what, I have opportunities later.
Mm-hmm. And you know, people talk like, oh, you're a quitter. I look at it like this. I'm a bigger man for saying, you know what, you're the better man tonight. I stepped up. I put in the work, and I was just not as good as you tonight.
Well, they should step.
That's cool. I stepped up. I understand. I accept my defeat. I'm gonna go work on some things.
Right.
I'm okay with that. But a lot of guys, what do they say? The pride comes before the fall. A lot of guys, their pride will end up putting them in a position where they never fight again. Sometimes it's self-preservation. Mm-hmm. You feel what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to live to fight another day. And if you're in a dangerous position, you're just like, you know what? You got it. And everybody's on this pride thing, and it's just like, oh, you quit. I'm like,
but when you think about it, who doesn't have losses? Who doesn't have losses? He's not afraid to have his losses or his setbacks in front of the world.
Right.
Because everything that he does, especially in the boxing world,
is in front of everybody.
In front of everybody.
People take losses every day, but because they take losses in the confines of their homes or the confines of their friends, they seem undefeated to the world. And they want to keep that persona. Look, that's just not true. And then they sell this persona to everybody else, and it makes everybody else scared to even leap, because they're like, if I'm not undefeated, I won't be accepted. Right. So I'm not even going to try to be something great, because if I go to be something great and I fall, I won't be accepted. I don't care what you think about me.
To me, a loss. When you lose, that teaches you a lesson. Yeah. A loss makes you strong. If you make that, if you make that loss make you weaker, then you didn't get the message from the loss.
Listen,
And that's
I came home with 6 figures in my pocket. I ain't like the taxes I had to pay.
Shout out to Mark Shelton for
Shout out to Mark Shelton for helping me lower them taxes. Because when I came home,
that's why y'all was having more kids.
Yo,
he was like, baby, he was like, listen, you get pregnant.
After I came home, after I went to pay my taxes, man, and the first tax account I went to said, yeah, you're gonna owe about $48,000. I said, they got to come find me, boy. They had to come. What? I went to Mark though. He
was like, you chew gum? Let's write the gum off.
Mark was like, yo, it's so many different things that we can, because it was things I didn't know I could write off as an athlete, as a business. And then my LLC.
Yeah. But y'all Applebee's, did y'all talk about boxing? Let's use that. That was a meeting.
Shout out to Mark Shelton, best tax accountant in Rochester. Probably he's on the team forever.